Hey guys, it's Laura. In this video, I wanted to share how I've been reconnecting with nature during a time that's been a little more challenging to get outside. We've all seen quite a bit of change in our normal routines over the last few months, and many of us have spent more time inside than ever before. Several cities shut down outdoor public areas such as parks, playgrounds, and beaches. And even if parks weren't officially closed, there was still a lot of fear around going out in public places. And some people may not have noticed a whole lot of change in their routines because they already spend so much time indoors. Whether you're more of an indoor person or more of an outdoorsy person, I still think it's worth mentioning some of the benefits of being outside in nature. Obviously, being outside is a great source of vitamin D, and being outside can leave you feeling less stressed and more energized. Over these last few months, I've made a point to reconnect with nature in a more meaningful way than ever before. I'll be the first to admit that I've taken being outside for granted in the past. When things started shutting down in March, I was concerned about my physical health. Obviously, I didn't want to get sick, but fitness and movement are things I'm very passionate about. And now that many of us have experienced working from home, you'll know how easy it is to sit in the same spot and barely move all day. To keep my body and my mind healthy, I made a point to spend meaningful time moving around outside every day. I focused on what I could do and where I could go. I live out in the suburbs in Houston, and March and April are probably my two favorite months out of the year. During these months, my husband Alex and I went on walks both in the morning and in the afternoon. At other points during the day, I would often bring my laptop outside and work. I would do lots of yoga and, of course, slacklining. I attribute staying so positive in these early months to being outside so often. Once May comes around, it really starts to heat up in Houston. Taking walks anytime after 11 a.m. becomes increasingly less appealing when it's over 90 degrees. Throughout May, I noticed it was getting harder for me to want to be outside. Aside from Alex and I both working full-time, we also had online yoga teacher training from 9 a.m. to 7 p.m. Saturdays and Sundays almost every weekend in May. While I am super thankful that Alex and I both have jobs and we got to experience yoga teacher training, all of a sudden, it was harder for us to be outside. Riding my bike became one of my favorite outdoor activities during this time. This may be hard to believe, but I wasn't one of those kids who grew up riding a bike. When I lived in New Jersey as a kid, I learned how to ride a bike, but I didn't live in an area that was conducive to bike riding. And I'm pretty sure that we donated my bike before we moved to Texas. In fact, I didn't even own a bike until a few years ago. And let me tell you, the saying, "it's just like riding a bike," is wrong. I had to relearn, and let's just say it's a humbling experience when you're in your 20s. To my own surprise, I've been riding my bike almost every day. And yes, I've gotten better at riding a bike. There's a huge park by my house that overlooks a lake, and I've had a growing urge to be closer to the water as the days and weeks go by. I ride down a road that's surrounded by wild and unplanned trees, and when I make it into the park, I often see all sorts of birds, some turtles, and thankfully I haven't seen any alligators yet, but I know they're there. This whole trip to the park has become my little nature getaway. Whatever had been on my mind before my bike ride fades away, and I'm fully living in the present. I feel so peaceful when I'm there. After so many years of being in school and looking forward to summer, I still look forward to the freedom and the outdoor activities that summer brings. And this year especially, I've learned to never take those activities and that freedom for granted. Now that we're in the summer months and more places have begun to open up, I can finally add more variety into my outdoor activities. I'm able to go to some of my favorite places to slackline or do acro yoga. I'm able to go to the beach and go swimming. And now I'm even able to do sup yoga, which is basically doing yoga on a stand-up paddleboard. If you've watched any of my other videos, you probably know by now that I like being barefoot as much as I possibly can. And all of these activities really lend themselves to being barefoot. And being barefoot is probably when I feel most free and most connected to nature. While I prefer to be barefoot in nature, sometimes it's just not feasible. I'm a huge proponent of barefoot shoes. Not only are they great for foot health, but they also allow you to still have a meaningful connection with the earth. You can still feel the rocks underneath your feet, but the rocks aren't going to cut up your feet or burn them if you live in a hot climate like me. They allow me to focus on the present moment, and let's face it, there's less fear about hurting yourself when you have a few millimeters of protection under your feet. From a practical standpoint, I think wearing barefoot shoes is the perfect balance between being connected to nature but still protecting your feet. I've been wearing my Primus knits from Vivobarefoot for the last several months, particularly when I'm out in nature. And I found that they're perfect for almost any activity I've found myself doing. And I think my favorite part about these shoes is how the knitting at the opening of the shoe makes it really easy for you to slip them on and off. If there's anything you take away from this video, I hope it's that you feel encouraged to go outside and reconnect with nature, barefoot or not. Pay attention to how it makes you feel, and let me know in the comments down below what makes you feel more connected to the earth. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up, and I hope you will consider subscribing to my channel. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you outside. Bye, guys!